Thank you for joining me. My name is Annabella. Today's practice, I would like us just to think about seeing things from a different perspective. So seeing it from another side. As we say, there's always two sides to every story. So just seeing things from another perspective with everything that's going on. Maybe just take a moment just to think about things on the other side, what someone else might be feeling. It's not necessarily what it always looks like on the outside. And today, the same, we're going to do our practice and just do a few different variations of some of the poses. You may have done them, you may not have done them before. So again, just thinking about that different perspective. If you are using essential oils and in your diffuser today, I would suggest for the morning to do the three lemon and 3 peppermint, and you can also just chuck in some frankincense if you feel like you want to make it a bit more grounding, maybe a couple of drops of that. And for the evening, our inner calm blend, which is really beautiful, is 4 drops of lavender, 2 of lemon, and 2 of ylang, which is such a great oil. So doing that if you're doing it in the evening, and it smells fantastic and also gets you into more of a romantic mood. So on that note, let us start with that different perspective by starting off in child's pose. So using a cushion if you want to, or a couple of cushions, especially if you feel in child's pose, your sit bones stay up quite high from your heels, and we want to get that nice length through the spine. Having a few cushions just to give you some height will then help you just lengthen through the back of your body. Otherwise, and again, you could maybe have some space between the legs if that makes it more comfortable for the front of your body. Arms can be wherever they feel comfortable. And just take a few moments just to start settling in and start connecting to your body, starting to relax. Especially if you're doing this at the end of the day, starting to let go of the day. And if you're doing it in the morning, just letting go of the sleepiness and starting to bring that awareness to yourselves as we soften and relax, letting go of any tension that we may be holding on to that we might not even be aware of. So just gently feeling the heaviness of your body as you settle into child's pose. If child's pose does become too much for you, do come back and sit in seated meditation. Just make yourselves comfortable, or you could put a cushion underneath your seat. Again, that makes it a bit more comfortable for your knees. So let's start to notice our body, starting with the face. Probably notice it feels much more relaxed in this pose as gravity just helps your face relax. So leaving any tension in the forehead. Feel the skin, the face gently relaxing as the jaw relaxes. Neck probably feels a lot more relaxed here with gravity just helping you gently open up the back of the neck. Relaxing the shoulders. Again, just feel the openness through the back of the body as the shoulders gently relax down. Let the arms relax. The hands, fingers relax. Notice them heavy on the mat wherever they are. And then just the spine through the back of the body, nice and relaxed. And lengthening down as the pelvis relaxes. Just let those sit bones get that little bit heavier and start lengthening down towards your heels as your body slowly relaxes. Let the glutes, the legs, the feet just gently relax. Just a couple of moments here, just noticing that softness. Noticing the sensations through the back of the body, nice and relaxed. As we start bringing the breath in, so starting to notice your breath, if you haven't already, starting to take longer, slower breaths. drawing that long breath in. Just feel that expansion from the base of your spine, rising all the way out to the base of your neck. A nice full expansion through the back of the body, and then gently relaxing, letting the breath out, squeezing it out, and then continuing again for a few more rounds. Again, you'll probably find it a lot easier to take those long, slow breaths in this pose, as our lungs predominantly in the back of our body, so we're just giving them so much room here to really expand and bring all that fresh new energy, and then relaxing it out. Let's take a few more rounds, really settling into that long breath, bringing in all that new energy and letting out stale energy as we exhale and relax. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath. Nice big breath, noticing that expansion through the back of the body. And then relaxing as we exhale. Our last round of breath, really nice and long. Nice big breath in. And then a nice long exhale. Really squeeze out that breath for as long as you can. And then settle back down to your normal breaths, probably slightly longer than when you started. And then let's get ready to start coming up. We're still keeping the eyes soft or gently closed as we roll up through our spine. And just stay seated here for a moment. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. Take a little bow down to your hands. Press those palms in towards each other, energizing that chest, those palms, those fingers. Take a moment to set an intention if you would like to set an intention. And in fact, let's all set an intention today just to look at things from another perspective or from someone else's perspective. And then let's briskly rub our palms together, getting warmth and energy, waking up the body, getting it ready to begin the practice, and then place those palms over our eyes as we blink back into the light and we take our hands away. Let's begin with Namaste, our greeting of love and peace, and thank you for joining me. So let's straighten out those legs straight away, get a little bit of relief through the legs, so just give them a little rub if you need to. Staying up nice and tall, you can sit on your cushion to give you that height. We're going to grab onto our toe or ankle or shin, wherever it feels comfortable. We want to bend and straighten that knee as we get some movement through our joints, movement through the hips. So nice big circles, opposite hand to keep you up nice and tall as we root down through the opposite hand. Leg on the floor, foot stays nice and flexed. Last circle round, and then in the opposite direction. Nice big circles. Nice big breaths. And bring that leg back down to the mat, and let's switch sides. Again, find that place of ease to get that movement in the knee. As we take big circles round, don't feel you need to hold on to your toe if that doesn't work. For that bending and stretching. There's no right way or wrong way, just the way that makes it good for you. Last circle, and then let's take it in the opposite direction. Nice big circle round. Keep that chest nice and open, hand rooted down. Last circle round, foot comes back down. And then either staying here like that or crossing your legs, or just get a bit of movement through the top of the body. So take that right hand over to the side, palm reaching down towards the mat, left hand come and rest on your head, and then just using the weight just to let your head, that left ear, go down to the left shoulder, and a nice stretch through the right side of the neck. Just create some space, loosening up, stretching out that neck, and relax. Keep rooting down through that palm. Coming back to center as we switch sides. Left hand down, right one over, and then we're just using the weight. We're not forcing the head. Just use the weight to gently open up to the side and relax. And keep drawing that navel slightly in, lifting up slightly through your pelvic floor, just so you stay nice and supported, nice and long. And relax. Come back to center and seated cat-cow, hands on our knees. Let's open up the chest as we inhale. Draw the shoulder blades back, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, we tuck the chin towards the chest and round up the spine, reaching back. Inhaling again, drawing the shoulders back, opening up the chest, lifting up that heart. Exhaling, rounding up that spine. Nice big stretch back between those shoulder blades. Final time, inhaling up. Exhaling, rounding up. Good, let's come back to center. And this time, let's do some churning some butter. So interlacing those fingers, taking our arms from the right, reaching all the way forward, and then coming all the way back. So nice big circles through the base of the spine, keeping those sit bones on the mat. As we reach forward, lengthen that spine, sit bones go back, reaching back. Final circle. And you come back to center. We take our arms over to the other side and start going from left to right. Circling round. Feel the stretch through the side of the body as well as through the spine. Final circle. And then come back to center. Just do a few shoulder rolls, loosen any tension that you may have built up, and then in the opposite direction. Good. Let's come up onto our knees, onto our hands, Shashankasan, as we go back into child's pose, and then bring ourselves through into a baby cobra. So extended child's pose as we reach our arms in front of us. As we start to inhale, start bringing the chest down towards the mat, and then scooping it all the way up into cobra, and then back into child's pose. So just like a wave as we root down through our hands, elbows stay nice and close as we then come all the way back up, crashing back, inhaling and exhaling. Nice big breaths, get some movement through those arms, through that spine, rooting down through the backs of your feet. Let's do that 3 more times. And just imagine yourselves crashing into the shore and then going back into the ocean. A nice beautiful wave. Final time. Nice big breath in. And then exhaling back, holding it in child's pose. Let the arms relax for a moment. And then let's come back up into table, bring our hands, wrists underneath our shoulders, knees staying hip distance apart, spreading out those fingers, just getting ready to come into down dog. So you really want loads of room between your fingers, so you can really see those web bits between the fingers, making sure we're rooting down through the fingers, the knuckles, through the thumbs, and the baby finger, just so we're keeping the weight off the wrists and we're not collapsing in, dialing that energy outwards, and we're keeping the elbows turned out to the sides. So tuck the toes under, start rooting down, pressing through your hands, through your fingers, all the way up through the arms. Feel those shoulder blades rotating in towards each other. lengthening through that spine, tilting that pelvis up, drawing that navel in, creating that space through the back of the body. And maybe starting to straighten out the legs. Even walking the dog, walking one leg out at a time, warming up those hamstrings, still keeping that tilt through the pelvis, as it'll want to collapse in as you're walking out the legs. And then let's hold it in center. A slightly different twist here. We're going to take our right hand, rooting down through the left. Right hand goes across to the left leg, knee, ankle, shin, wherever you're comfortable. A little twist, gazing underneath that left arm. Good. Come back to center, placing the right hand down, rooting down, taking left hand across, gazing under that right armpit. And then back to center again. One last stretch here in down dog. As we start looking forward, coming into a forward bend, hanging here. Again, just root down through your feet. Notice if you're collapsing in, energize those feet outwards. Keep the knees slightly soft. Let your arms and head just hang top of the head, shining down towards the floor. Maybe take a little movement from side to side, letting the arms relax and the shoulders. A nice happy pose, turning up the corners of your mouth. Getting ready to begin with a few rounds of sun salutation as we come back to center. Let's bring our hands to our shins, lengthening the spine, letting that blood settle into a halfway lift. Lengthen the pelvis, tailbone back, spine lengthens forward. Start coming up as we soften the knees, roll the shoulders, bring the arms all the way around back to the heart. Let's begin with our half sun salutation. So stepping to the top of our mats, if we're using our mats, opening out in Tandasana, so palms are opened out, and the chest automatically opens up. Root down through those feet, energizing outwards. Let's take a nice big circle with the arms as we lengthen, lengthen, lengthen all the way back, reaching back, and then coming through into a forward bend. Take that right foot back, knees on the mat, chest up, chin up. Try and reach down through those fingers or fingertips down towards the mat. And then step back into down dog. And this time we're going to take the right heel up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch through the back of that left leg. And then bend that right knee. We're going to shift the weight forward like we're coming into a high plank. And just bring that right knee to hover behind the right elbow. Nice strong left leg. You can always come down onto that left knee. And then we're going to step a couple of steps with that foot between the hands. And then the left knee comes down. If it's not down already, chest up, chin up. Again, checking bent knee stacked over ankle. Into a forward bend. Start coming up. Roll the shoulders, hands back to the heart. And let's do the left side. Reaching back. Nice big openness as we reach back. Into a forward bend. Take that left leg back, the knees on the mat, chest up, chin up, lengthen down through the hands, through the shoulders. Lifting up the chin, so we're gazing directly in front of us. And then step into down dog. Left heel, this time up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch through the back of the right leg. Start shifting the weight forward as we bend that left knee to hover behind that left elbow. Again, you can bring the right knee down straight away to support you. Take that big step and then come back. Chest up, chin up. Into a forward bend. And let's start rolling those shoulders back. Use that core to bring us up. And let's go for a full round of sun salutation, just to really warm us up and stretch us out. So reaching back. And we'll pick up the pace into a forward bend. Take that right foot back, knees on the mat. We come into crescent moon, so bringing the arms up, gazing at those fingers. A gentle back bend as we lift up through the heart. And then into down dog. Stepping back. Let's continue 8-point pose as the knees come down to the mat, bending those elbows, chest and chin, touch down, and then straighten the legs back as we lift our chest into a baby cobra. Keep those glutes relaxed. Tuck the toes under, push through into down dog. Nice big step through with that right foot. Left knee comes down, inhaling, come into crescent moon, gazing up at those fingers, relaxing those shoulders, and into a forward bend, stepping through. Stop coming up, root down through those feet, hands come back to the heart, and let's end with the left side reaching back into a forward bend. Left leg goes back, knees on the mat, crescent moon. If you want to make it stronger, you can always take that knee off the mat and have a nice strong leg, root down through that front foot. Different perspective, into down dog, stepping back. And shift the weight forward, knees come down to the mat, or you can hover the knees, chest touches down, or you can hover the chest and then go all the way into a baby or full cobra. Keep those glutes relaxed. Tuck the toes under, back to down dog. Nice big step through with that left foot, right knee comes down or stays off the mat into crescent moon. Gazing up. Nice strong legs as we come into a forward bend. Keep rooting down through those feet. Roll those shoulders. Hands come back to the heart. Good, and hopefully you're nicely warmed up as we continue on the journey. Rooting down, feet hip distance apart. And take a nice side stretch. So just keeping the right hand down, lengthening down towards your knee. Take the left hand up. Nice big breath, and then on the exhale we start stretching over, and then we continue taking the hand all the way down, we're circling around and coming back to center again. Keep rooting down through those feet. Nice big breath in. On the exhale, lengthen over and then circling all the way around. Good, come back to center and let's switch sides. So bring the left hand down, the right one reaching up. Nice stretch. Draw the shoulder into its socket. Exhaling over and then circling all the way down. One more time. Nice big breath up. Exhaling around. Good. Reaching up and then relax into our standing yoga mudra, which is interlacing fingers behind our back. Have the palms just opening up away from each other, rooting down through our feet. Draw those shoulder blades back. If you feel your ribs are popping out, just draw them in. So this part of the body is nice and stable. And we're going to come into a forward bend. So just bringing ourselves forward. Soften the knees slightly. Let yourselves hang here. Squeeze those shoulders back into each other so you can feel the openness of the chest. And feel the top of the neck, the top of the shoulders relaxing away from the neck. Top of the head, crown of the head shining down towards the floor as you relax. You can check if you're sinking back into your heels. Just adjust the weight into your toes. And then letting go of the arms, letting them hang. And then grabbing elbows with opposite hands and just hang here for a little bit more. Taking that a little bit longer. Feel the underarms. Nice stretch there. And then take the hands again behind the back. Open up the chest. And then use those hands to bring us up as we inhale. And exhale, relax. And we're going to come into a warrior one. So we're going to step back with our left foot. I'm going to take myself this side. Step back with the left foot. So it's 45-degree angle. I'm only going to take myself to the left side because when we come down, we're going to do something slightly different. And then you need to see me from a different angle, from a different perspective. Bend that front knee. Back foot is pointing towards 10 o'clock if we were a clock here. Take those arms up straight into classic warrior one. Root down. Navasana one, rooting down through that front foot, through that back heel. Feel the energy rising up through that front heel, into your core and down the back leg. Nicely energizing the body. eagle arms. As we take the arms out to the side, we're going to take the left arm over as the right one comes under. If you can cross your elbows past each other, go for one twist or two. Be mindful the wrists stay nice and straight, they're not bending. If you can't quite grab your elbows or you don't want to, you can just hold onto your shoulders. A nice little hug instead. Once you've settled in, you can lift the elbows a little bit more, just so they're more in line with your shoulders. And you feel that straightening of the spine at the top. We're not rounding up. That length. And then a humble warrior brings those elbows down towards that front knee. Keep rooting down through those feet, stabilizing. Not forgetting your heel of that front foot. So we're not just pressing through the toes. And then letting go of the arms, letting them relax either side of the front foot. So bend that front knee as much as you need to. Just to hold it here. We're going to turn the back toes forward. We're going to come into a half split, a standing forward split, I should say. And then if anyone wants to, we can move on into a half moon, at least with the legs if you've never done it before, or you can go into the full version if you've done it before. So just move the weight slightly forward with your hand onto your front leg and move your hands forward. Just so your wrists are coming underneath your shoulders. When you shift the weight all the way onto your front leg, lift the top leg. If you can, straighten the front leg, have the wrists underneath our shoulders. And this is our standing forward split. You can stay here, or you can try coming into the half moon, even if it's only with your legs. So half moon, we start rotating that left hip up towards the ceiling. So we're opening the hips up to the sides. Trying to stack one hip above the other. Flex that left foot. You can keep the front knee bent if you need to keep your hands or fingertips on the mat. If you have a block, you can always use your block. So you're either just here, just getting used to that opening up of the hips, having them stacked, or you can try and come into the half moon, which is then taking the left hand from the mat. And we'll see my right side is not very strong at the moment, as I have pulled a hamstring. So just taking the left hand, and you can open up the chest and root down, but float up through that standing leg. We'll just stay here with the legs. Come in and out of it. Just get used to the pose if it's new for you. And just play around with it. Good. Let's bring the hips back again. Square to the mat. Step back. Bend the front knee. Bring those hands in, flattening them on the mat, and step back into down dog. A nice stretch here in down dog. And then we'll continue on. So again, another pose that you may not have done. We're going to come into a fallen triangle. So take that left heel up towards the ceiling. Bend that left knee. And like we did at the beginning, except this time we're taking it across to the opposite arm. So taking it to the right arm. And then straighten the leg through to the side. Into that fallen triangle. You can come down onto your knees if this is too much. Don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be as straight. If you want to make it easier. Turning the back, if you've got your knees off the mat, back foot, flatten it down onto the mat. Then we all shift the weight onto the left arm and take that right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, rooting down through that left foot. A nice big stretch here. And then bring that arm back down. Shift the weight onto the back foot, onto the ball of the foot. Step back into down dog. Take a break. You can move into child's pose if you prefer. And then we're going to come down onto our knees anyway, into table. And we're going to come up. I'm just going to swing myself around. We're going to come up and take our left foot out to the side this time, coming up onto that knee. So left leg out to the side, ankle in line with the hip. If you can't get that foot all the way down and you're here compromising your ankle, do just flip your foot up instead. So whichever way, get a nice stretch through that inner leg. And then a little side stretch here. So left arm down, right arm reaches up and over. Good. Come back to center. One-legged child's pose. Again, foot either stays there or flip it up if you feel that's more comfortable. One-legged child's pose takes us back. Sit bones back towards our heels. Have the arms in front of us, supporting us. And then come back up onto our knee. Bring that leg in. And we're going to continue with the flow. So come down. Bend those elbows, coming down, scooping into baby cobra or full cobra. Keep those glutes relaxed. Open up that chest, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. And then walking, nice long legs on the tip toes of our feet, coming all the way through. You can maybe come onto the tips of your fingertips, nice length through the back of your legs. Lowering those heels, halfway lift as we lengthen the spine. And then start coming up. Roll those shoulders, soften the knees. Use those hands to bring you up. And we're going to go with the right side this time. So nice big step into warrior one with the right foot. Again, that right foot pointing at 2 o'clock. Bend that front knee, lift up through the pelvis. All the way up. Nice straight spine. Eagle arms to the side. And this time the right arm is over, the left one is under. One twist or two, or just holding onto your shoulders. Lift those elbows slightly, straighten up the top of the spine. Humble warrior as we exhale, bowing down, bring those elbows to that knee. Keep rooting down through the heel, through all of that front foot and the back foot. Feel the stretch through the back of the shoulders, just gazing down past your hands so your neck is relaxed. And then bring those hands to either side of the front foot. Again, turn those back toes. We're getting ready for that half step, for that standing forward split. Shift the weight forward onto the front leg. Bring the wrists underneath shoulders as we lift up the back leg. And just get yourselves used to that one leg position, that balance on that left leg. Now, sides are different, so you may find it easier on one side than the other. So just take your time. If you want to go into the full pose, you can start rotating that top hip up towards the ceiling. So hips are opening up. Flex that right foot just to give you some stability. And either just here, staying here, getting used to that pose so that your leg is getting used to it. You can maybe just play around with taking the right hand off the mat just to get used to that balance a bit more. And then if you want to come into the full pose, which on this side feels a lot easier for me this morning. And the balance. And just holding it there. Trying not to collapse into your standing leg. You want to keep it quite lifted. Come in and out of the pose as much as you need to. And then start bringing that right arm down. It's all about just getting used to the poses. Start squaring the hips. Especially if you haven't done the pose before, take that foot back, bring the hands closer to you, flatten the palms and step back into down dog. Nice big stretch here. I find with myself, when it's the first time I've done a pose, that sometimes my brain doesn't want to quite connect to what my body is trying to do. So don't be too worried about it. Bring those knees down to the mat. And then again, we're going to take that right leg out to the side this time. Nice big stretch out. Either flattening that foot down completely, so the outer edge is coming down, or coming onto your heel. Have a nice straight leg, hip to ankle. And then that nice stretch. Reaching down with the right hand, reaching up with the left. And just a gentle stretch over. Keep the chest nice and lifted and straight so we're not collapsing in. Staying up nice and high. And a little smile, turning up the corners of your mouth. Coming back to center. And that one-legged child's pose, taking our sit bones back. Relaxing here for a moment. And then come back up onto our hands. Bring that leg in. Knees underneath hips, and we'll continue down. Bend those knees, scoop the chest through all the way up. to cobra. Relax the glutes, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. Good, rooting down through those hands, lengthening through that pelvis, through that spine. And then let's take that nice walk on our tippy toes, on the tips of our fingers, really lengthening through the back of the body. And then bring the heels down, soften the knees, roll the shoulders, stop coming all the way up, hands back to the heart. If you do need to take a break, I just need a bit of water from all the talking. And then let's come into a wide-legged pose. Take the legs out to the sides, having the feet parallel just to begin with, to set us off. Bring the hands to the hips, and then start hinging forward from the hips, and just lengthening the spine here halfway, and reach those arms forward, right angle pose. Keep rooting down through the outside of the legs, and keep lengthening that spine back and forward. And then bring the hands all the way down. If you need to soften your knees or bring a cushion to have your hands comfortable on the mat, just take a moment. And we're just going to walk the legs out from side to side. Get a bit of stretch through those inner thighs. As we get ready to come into a side squat, we're going to bend the right knee, turn the right toes slightly outwards, and start walking the hands over, coming onto the ball of the foot. If your Achilles tendon is feeling quite tense, you may be able to adjust that right foot to try and lengthen, give yourself a bit more length through the back of the leg, and try and get that heel down. No problem. If the heel doesn't come down, you can always place a cushion underneath to help you, to give you that support, or just keep the hands on the mat supporting you. And then that left heel, the left foot is turning up, flexing up towards the ceiling. If your heel is on the mat, you want to make it a bit stronger. Come here, but have a nice strong foot so you're not collapsing inwards. Or if you have a cushion underneath for that support, you can make it a bit stronger. But again, you can always just hold here. And relax. And then bring that foot down as we start walking over to the other side. So again, adjust the toes as we bend the left knee. Take the right toes up towards the ceiling this time. And again, adjust that left foot. Try and see if you can get that heel down or get your cushion under it. And it's really just about lengthening through the back of the leg, which is why we keep our hands supporting so we're not putting too much pressure on that Achilles tendon if it's not supported on the floor or cushion. Good. Let's come back to center. And again, just walk your legs out and parallel those feet, walk the legs out from side to side. And then we're going to start coming up. So as we come to center, bring those hands to the hips and start coming all the way up. We're going to bring the ankles slightly further in, so they're still wider than our hips. And we're going to start getting ready to come into a yogic squat, Samalasana. But we just want to start lengthening first through the back of the legs, so giving the back of our legs as much stretch as we can before we come into the actual full pose. So we'll start just here with a half squat. So starting to take the weight back. So we collapse, well, not really collapsing, but you're taking the weight back. You can lift your toes, so you're going into your heels, and try and bring the hips in line with your knees if you can, and just hold it there. So it's all about stretching the back of the legs. You can have your hands on the mat helping you, or just leaning on your legs so your knees aren't collapsing in. You could be just pushing up against the inside of the legs and just lengthen through the back. So start lowering that tailbone down. Relaxing. Now this pose is really brilliant for us, those of us that have been sitting around a lot, as it really stimulates all those muscles through the legs, straightening up the legs through the glutes, through those hamstrings. Stop coming up. And let's do that one more time. This time, bringing the ankle slightly closer. Again, you might find it easier with your toes pointing out. Let's see if we can come down into the full yogic squat. So again, start bending your knees, and when you get to the bottom, you may need to adjust. So stop bending your knees. Just see if you can drop your tailbone. Again, you can bring cushions underneath your heels if you find your heels are not coming down and all the way down to the mat, or just use your hands and let your heels, the back of your legs, sorry, not your heels, that Achilles tendon and through the back of your calves, just start lengthening down on their own. The more you do it, the more they'll start releasing and lengthening. So try not to tense up. Use those hands to support you. You could, of course, be up here on the ball of your foot, as I know some people like to do that. But then you're not really getting that benefit of stretching through the back of the leg and stretching through that back muscle. So I always say just hold it here and use your hands to support you. Again, if it gets too much for you, you can put a cushion and just take the weight off and sit on the cushion. Or if it's completely too much for your knees, just come take a moment in seated cross leg. And we can do the same thing. We're going to release. So stop bringing the weight forward, straighten out the legs. And let's take a down dog. So just really releasing. So bring the hands ahead of you and then just step up. So just a down dog wherever you are. Release the back of the legs, root down through those hands. Just find that lovely stretch through the backs. And then let's do that one more time. So bring the hands forward again towards you and bring the feet in. And this will be the last time. Start bringing that tailbone down. Want to root up through the pelvic floor. Keep that chest nice and open. And then a couple of options here. Bring the inside of the arms just to open up the legs. Open up the chest. You can take your right arm over to the side. It will take more of a twist. So use that right hand to support you if your heels aren't down. And then you can start using the left arm just to open up the legs and start twisting up towards the ceiling. You can take that back hand and go into a full bind if you've got the bind in your practice. Otherwise, you can just stay here, opening up the chest. Come back to center. So it really helps those muscles that work extra hard when we've been sitting down. This really just helps tone them up and loosen and relax them again. This time with the left hand on the floor, start opening up the chest as we open up the inside of the leg just to give us some space to turn. Again, you can come into that bind if you prefer. I'll just hold it here and open up. Rooting down through the feet, relaxing the back of the legs. And then come back to center. Good. Coming down. Whew. Straighten out those legs. Give them a little rub. And we'll do a nice little counter pose here. We're going to come into a half bridge. So just lengthening through the front of the legs. So let's bend that left leg to support us. Hands come behind us. Fingers can be pointing inside or back, wherever it's good for your wrists. Going to take a nice big breath in, and then on the exhale we lift the pelvis up, and you want to really get a stretch. So root down through your hands and open up the chest. Get a stretch through the front of the leg. So just nice big stretch. Try and get the toes to point down to the floor. We're going to try and touch the floor with our toes to really get that stretch through the front of the leg. Keep lifting that pelvis up. Keep those glutes relaxed. Use the chest to open up. Use the shoulders to open up the chest, so we try and get a nice long spine and a nice stretch through the front of that leg. And then relax. Bring the pelvis down, straighten that left leg, relax your wrists for a moment, and we'll get ready to switch sides. So this time bend the right leg, taking the weight back, inhaling, lifting up the pelvis. Try and reach through those toes, through the front of the foot, through the front of the leg, really lengthening through the top of the leg. That service muscle, getting a nice stretch, front of the ankle, getting a nice stretch, root down through the opposite foot. Use those shoulders, open up the chest. And then gently relax. Come back down, straighten that leg, relax. And we're going to flex the feet and just come into a forward bend. It's an active forward bend, just bringing our hands in front of us. We want to keep the spine nice and long. Draw that navel back to give us space through the base of our spine. Just help us come into the pose a bit more. I did say flex your feet, but you can have your feet a little bit more relaxed if you want to. Again, you can bend your knees slightly just to ease up on those hamstrings. If you feel you're quite scrunched up, just having that bend in your legs just gives you a bit more lift. So nice and relaxed but active forward bend, keeping the chest open, the shoulders relaxed, the spine nice and long. And just settle here just for a couple of breaths. And then come back up to seated. I'm going to do a little bit of core work. So coming into boat pose, on the tips of our toes, coming onto our sit bones. You get a nice balance in our sit bones, drawing up through the pelvic floor and draw that navel back. So you're engaging the core, so your back is not arching. You're staying nice and open through the chest. The more open you are through the top of your body, the less likely you're to put strain on your neck. So seeing if you can take the toes off. Don't worry if you can't, just keep them there. And you're either holding the back of your legs or either side of your mat, just to give you that balance, or you may be able to go straight into the full pose. And start straightening the legs. Now, because I've got quite tight hamstrings and my back is a bit weak, my knees tend to stay bent. But if you can straighten your legs, go for it. Keep the chest nice and open and just keep drawing that navel in. Just hold it here for a few breaths. We're going to really get that energy starting to rise up. Keep drawing up through your pelvic floor and engage that navel back. Really getting that energy rising up. And then relax. Just cross the legs, relax the belly for a moment. Relax the neck, maybe take the chin in just in case you did strain it slightly. And we'll go for one more round. Coming back in, coming back again onto the tips of our sit bones. Use those hands to support you wherever you need them. If you need the support, we'll just come straight into that boat pose. Again, draw those shoulders back. Neck is nice and relaxed. Keep coming up. Keep drawing the navel in. Keep holding it there. Drawing nice and strong. If you want to take it into a slightly different version and not so much working the core, but just more of a fun version, you can grab your toes and see if you can take your legs out to the side. So a different kind of challenge. If your core is quite strong, you can try and do this move instead. Again, open up the chest, open up those legs if you can, draw that navel in. Good. Let's bring the legs back down, relax that core, relax the belly, chest, chin into the chest. Good. We'll take a little twist here, so straightening the spine again. Let's take the left hand towards the right knee and take the right hand behind us and keep that hand quite close to us. If it is far, then you're on your fingertips rooting down, keeping the spine straight. If you bring it closer to you, it can root down through the palm. It keeps the spine straight. And then the last thing we do is turn with our neck. So we're not going for a full-on twist all the way around, just a nice comfortable twist to the side. Lengthen the spine as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, just relax into the pose, into the twist. And last breath in this pose. Turning the head forward, release the twist, and on our way to the other side. So take the right hand to that left knee, left hand comes behind us. So it gives us that leverage, that height through the spine as we start twisting slightly to the side, and then take the neck last. Lengthening as we inhale and relaxing into the twist as we exhale. our last breath in the pose. Nice long spine, nice long breath. Relax into the pose. And then bring ourselves back to center. Again, just coming into seated butterfly, Uttanasana, but with a bit more space between the legs. So we have some room just to gently relax forward again. To totally relax the spine and the belly and the legs, the shoulders, the head. Just for a few breaths, just gently relax here. And then let's start coming back up to seated. We're going to come and lie on our front of our body just to do a couple of back bends before we move on. So I like to do a little bit of everything in our classes. So we're going to come into a couple of versions. You can either just come into a baby cobra and have your hands just underneath the shoulders and you keep the chest slightly lifted. Or you can bring your hands to either side of the body, arms straightening back, palms are facing down. And we root down through the palms. And then we're going to start lifting up the chest. Keep the glutes relaxed. Draw the shoulders back and keep lifting up the chest. Root down through the pelvis, through the front of the body, the bottom part of the body, the backs of your feet, the front of your thighs. Your pubic bone, we're pushing into the mat and just lifting up the top part of the body. Keep those glutes relaxed. They will tense naturally from the movement, but don't add that extra tension. Just let it go. Keep rooting down through your hands just to help you lift your chest. Again, you could be here in that baby cobra version, depending on your back, or just sit this one out completely if you're finding it's too much for your back. We'll just have a slightly less lift, or again, you can bring a cushion underneath your belly, and that helps with the back. Keep drawing the navel in to keep your back supported. One last lift up, and then relax. Come back down, make a pillow with your hands, rock out your back. As we come back to center, let's just see if we can go into full locust pose. So bring the hands around again. So palms come underneath your legs, the front of your legs. You're going to have the chin or your forehead on the mat. And all we're going to do is lift up the legs. So hands are there to support you if you need the support of your hands to lift the legs up. If you don't need the support, just let your hands stay on the mat and just get that compression through the wrists, which is quite good, which feels quite nice. And also if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, it's quite effective for that. So that pressure, that compression in the wrists. So take a nice big breath in. Keep the forehead or the chin on the mat, the top of the body rooting down, and we lift the legs up. Keep drawing that navel in, relax out the glutes. Just use the bottom part of the spine, keep lifting it up, strengthening it up. Use those hands if you need to. Just enjoy that compression. Unless you have something around your wrists, then maybe have the hands. If you're not using the hands, have the hands to the side supporting you. Keep lifting the legs, pressing down through the top of the body. And now the legs are light and lifted, and the top part of the body is grounded and holding you. Just a few more breaths. Last breath, lifting, 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 and then relax. Legs come down, make a pillow with your hands again, rock out your back, even windscreen wiper your legs if you prefer. And then we're going to stretch back into child's pose. So bring the legs down, take a nice big stretch back, knees together or apart, get that length through the spine, and totally relax. Okay, connect back through your back body. Take nice big breaths through the back of your body. Feel that stretch all the way up your spine, and then relax as you exhale. Let's take one last breath here. next breath, we're going to start rising up to our spine. Bringing the hands in front of us into table. Just going to do one round of cat-cow, one round of tiger virgrasana. So inhaling, draw the shoulders back, tilting the tailbone up, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding up the spine, tucking the tailbone under, chin to the chest. Next breath, as we inhale, we draw the shoulder blades back. Right leg curls up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch up. And then as we exhale, bring that right knee through towards the forehead, squeezing out the breath. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then bring the knee down. And we'll do the opposite side. Inhaling, draw shoulders back. Left leg curls up towards the ceiling. Nice big curl. Lifting the chest. Lifting the leg. And then exhaling, draw that knee in towards the chin, towards the forehead. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze out the breath. And then come back down. Relax. Take ourselves back. Going to come and lie on the mat and start getting ready to end our practice. So starting to cool down. Let's bring those knees up towards our chest. Give ourselves a little rock from side to side. And then come back to center. Keep the knees close to the chest. Take the arms out to the sides. And then we're going to circle the knees. So we're going to take the knees together over to the right side. Bringing them forward and then round to the left. 2 more circles round. And then we're on our third circle, taking it all the way around. When we come back to center, just drop the knees over to your right, adjust your shoulders and look to your left. The closer your knees are towards your waist, the more intense that twist will feel. If you just release the knees slightly, then it'll help you release the shoulders and just exhale into that left shoulder as your knees just relax to the right. You could always make cactus arms. That helps again with the shoulders on the mat. Take a nice little twist here, just for a few breaths. Oh, excuse me, sorry. And then our next breath, let's bring the knees back to center, adjust the shoulders, the spine, bring them up to the chest, and we're going to circle in the opposite direction. So to the left side, all the way around, to the right. 2 more times, nice big circles. As we massage the back, we massage the belly. 1 last circle. And as the knees come back to the chest, drop them to your left. And then look to your right. Again, the closer the knees are, the more intense, the more relaxed the knees are, the more relaxed the twist. Again, as you exhale, just soften that right shoulder back down to the floor. Arms are either out to the sides or in cactus arms. And just relax. Take a few lovely relaxing breaths here. This nourishing pose. Supine spinal twist. As we get ready to end the practice. Next breath, bring the knees back up, straightening the spine, the head. Bring them up to your chest 1 last time. Take the arms around the legs. Take a nice big breath in. And then as you exhale, squeeze those legs into your abdomen and totally relax your spine on the mat. And then let's straighten out our legs and get ready to end our practice in Shavasana. If you do, I'm just going to do about a minute of Shavasana before I leave you. If you want to continue, maybe just go and put on some music if you haven't got some music already, or just put on your timer. Maybe take your Shavasana for 4 or 5 or even 10 minutes, depending on how much time you have. So let's take a moment, start settling in, closing your eyes, and starting to relax back down onto your mat. Have some space between your legs. Let your feet just flop out to the sides as the ankles and the legs relax. Let the arms just open up to the sides, palms facing up. As your chest relaxes. just take a few moments to start letting go of any last bits of tension. Just feel your body heavy, softening and relaxing down onto the mat. Legs are relaxed. Pelvis is relaxed. Just notice your belly, your tummy just relaxing down as your pelvis relaxes. Ribs relax. Every time you exhale, just feel your body relaxing that bit more. Chest relaxes. Feel the spine relaxing down. Shoulders relaxed. Arms are relaxed. Fingers relaxed. Face is relaxed. A gentle space between your teeth as you relax your jaw. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Totally relaxed. If you want to continue in Shavasana, please do so for another few more minutes. I'm going to take myself back up to seated as I get ready to leave you here, or you can bring yourselves back up into a seated position, coming up through one of your sides. We'll bring our hands together in front of our heart, placing thumbs in our sternum as we end our practice with love. Love for each other, love for ourselves, and love for our planet. And thank you again for joining me. Namaste, and I hope to see you again.